Hi everyone, welcome to my day 12 of cloud computing series. So today we are going to learn AWS because we have completed operating system and computer networks. So we can now dive into AWS services. So firstly what we are going to learn today topics is first is AWS global infrastructures. Second is AIM like identify access management. It's a short form AIM. In that we will learn policies, rules, MFA like multi-factor authorization, and then AIMI security tools, AWS control tower, and then we going to learn in 8 we are going to learn EC2, ninth AMI, 10th EC2 instance type, second security group, 12th placement group, 13 tendency, 14 EC2 instance purchasing options, 15 ENI. Okay, so today we are going to learn this all topics. So what I am going to explain my notes, and I'm going to tell you overview, and I'm going to explain with practicals also. So let's go to my notes. So firstly where I'm going to learn this, there is a in Udemy there is a Stephen Marken. They explain very well, so you can just learn cloud practitioner anything, but I want to learn solution architects associate. That's why I take that course. It's around only 500, so you can just, it's a cheap, but he is explaining very well, so you can learn. So I'm not in favor of buying too much expensive courses, so you can learn from this type of sources or resources and all. So now we are going to learn. So solution architect associate, so this is the like we are I'm going to learn. So in that we are going to learn so many services. So first is like what is AWS global infrastructure. If you see, there is regions, availability zones, data centers, edges, locations, mountains of presence. What is regions, what is availability zones? So I'm going to explain. So if you see, this is Mumbai and this is Hyderabad in India, or this is India. In there is a Mumbai. In Mumbai there is two regions. uh, in India there is in India there like AWS regions. So there is like in all, this is world, and in this there is like India, and in India there is Hyderabad and Mumbai, and they both are called regions because in that there is a region. So if in that region there is a availability zones, this is the data centers. Like in India there are two data centers in Mumbai and in uh, Hyderabad. So if you see, this is the region Mumbai, and this is the region of two in Hyderabad. If you see that in region there is availability zone, and availability zone is connected to each other, and regions also connected, if you can say like that. And in availability zone, data centers are there. Data centers are there. Availability zone, in availability zone data centers are there. And if you see, in availability zone the data transfer and are so low latency and fast transfer and all, through input and all, so it's fast and all. So what is availability zones per region? In a minimum two and maximum six in per region. In per region there will be minimum two availability zone will be there, or maximum six availability zone will be there, not seven. Okay, or not one available. So there is a range have given by Amazon like that. Regions are isolated to prevent failures from spreading across regions. Regions are separated, they are not like connected, so it's like a separated. So if there this region like this is USA and this is India, so if USA shut down, then India will be work like that. So for availability for everything, so this is like so data centers placed in different regions like that. So why AWS regions is for latency and cost compliance, and me and one more thing, compliance. Like if some governments have some regulation and all, but if in USA there is so much regulations, but in India there is no that much of regulation, so that will be help for that type of business or store in India, a website like that or their application like that. So there is so benefits of AWS regions and ability zones, so you can see that. Now we are going to jump to AIM. So AIM nothing but identify and access management. So how many access to give up a user or a manager like that. So it's like nothing but giving access to user or a particular person like that. So in that way you can secure your application or your database, everything you can secure by this IAM. So if you see, this is VPC manager, and and there is a user, and there is a root user is the main. Okay. And there is a user EC2 instance. So based on policy, everything we will give based on that access and all. User is nothing but individual AWS account. Like I have an account in AWS, so I'm user like that. So AWS accounts with specific permissions. Groups, like groups have collections of users sharing same permissions or same security like that. So the same access like that. So permission is nothing but access, same access like that. So that are called groups. So if you see, there is a admin in company, there is admin, there is a developer, there is HR department, there is finance department, there are more of departments are there. So based on based on their what we will going to give, admin have full access of this database and every application. So they take care of that. And developer has only access to write the code and update the code, and nothing more that. So based on that, the requirement, based on the permission we are giving in that. So admin have like 10 to 2 to 5 peoples in admin, and in developer there are 50 peoples, in HR there are 10 peoples. Like they are sharing same permissions, same everything. So we are dividing into groups, and based on permissions they can access this type of services or this type of service, so, like that. And policies are, we can, there is a JSON, there is a code JSON format you can write. You can use ChatGPT, or you can use there is a AWS JSON generator, where you can generate all permissions by adding and all. So but I always, like, if you want to explore new things, so what you can do is write uh, on your own JSON uh, JSON format. So what will you are going to learn more. So I my suggestion is to write by yourself this JSON for coding, so you will learn more. Okay. So there is a policy, there is a policy is nothing but we are giving how much access. And also there is a managed Amazon managed. So there is a like EC2 instance, a full access. These are the Amazon managed policies are there. There is a customer managed policies. So based on customer and all, so we can manage that policy. Inline policy means nothing but you can directly attach to that particular user. That particular user you can attach that policy. So that call is inline policy. So roles are nothing but assigning permission to AWS service or users to be used for assigning temporary permission. Roles nothing but giving permanent access to that particular resources or service like that. So it's the roles like that. In roles are, there is service role. There are so many account roles, like if like allow users service in one or AWS account, access resources in another account like that. So you can, like a user in account B accessing resources in account A, like that. A user A in account B using resources of account A like that. So you can access like that. So there is a for this type of federal roles and assume roles. So you can see through these notes. I have written very in deep and from basic to higher level. So you can, if you read these notes, so you will understand what are types of roles, what are types of policy, everything I have written in very detail. So I'm not going to explain all, because I don't want to make too long video. Okay. There is same account access, cross account access, there are so many. Okay. A JSON web token, like that, custom trust policy. And now we are like I'm talking about multi-factor authentication, nothing but one security adding like that. Like you can use access key, CLI, and SDKs, or AWS management console protected by, like it's like if you have a device of a MFA, you can add your security. Like I have a protected MFA, because I'm login, when I'm login I have from root account anything. So what I do, I email then my password. Then after that there is multi-factor also asks me one more password from me, from authentication or like a Google authenticator, from anything they will ask, and I have to that give that, then only I can log into that account. So this will be help to secure your account like that. um, so whenever you're using a AWS account, so you must uh, apply MFA account, so that will be good for you. MSA security tools, if you want to report accounts level, if you want to account level, you have to report like credential, how, when login, and like a report that list of all your accounts user and the status of their resources credentials. So in that way, access advisory, like how much access that user access that resources or permission, and based on that you can there is a log maintain, you can see okay this person have access this person, like that you can. So there is a tool, so you can use that tool and you can see the history of that. Okay. AMI, advanced policy, condition, wildcard policy, variables, writing, access policy, practical scenario, strict based on IP, tax or time. Okay. IP resources based on policy versus IAM rules. So IAM rules, trust based used for temporary. I have already said you before. IAM rules, nothing but giving temporary access between services. Resource based policies attach directly to that resources like S3 or EC2. We are directly attached directly attached to that resources, that policy. So that is a resource policy or resource based policy. Okay. IAM role permission boundaries. IAM role permission boundaries are supported for users and roles, not groups. So if you see, this is like IAM permission boundaries is only for users and group roles, users and roles, not for groups. Okay. And AWS IAM identify centers, there is replace and all. Directory service, directory service is nothing but, if you see, provide management software, AD, simple AD and AD connector. So enables window authentication, group policy and seamless logs for EC2 and so it's nothing but as like you can use this to for accessing or like monitoring all the access and all. So you can use this AWS directory service. And AWS helps to with automate the landing zone setup, like AWS control tower helps with automate landing zone setup. Okay. Automate creates UIs, accounts, baseline security policy. This we can use a control tower like this. Okay. For this purpose, now we are going to learn the main like this is the main server like service, EC2. Like what is EC2? Elastic Compute Cloud. So it EC2 is nothing but server. It's placed in a that availability zone. There is a racket or a server, that is the server we are accessing through internet or AWS account, and we are using that server or renting that server, that is called EC2. So EC2 is like EC2 is one of the most popular of AWS offering. EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud Infrastructure as a Service. It is mainly consist in the capability of renting VM what virtual machine, virtual machine. If you can learn virtual machine, what is virtual machine, hypervisor, type of hypervisor, hypervisor 1, hypervisor 2. So if you learn this, you will get to know okay this will happen like this will happen like that. Then you will going to get an interest in AWS service and all, and you will okay this platform, this we are going to maintain the website or application like that. So renting virtual through like EC2, storing data on virtual drives, so EBS, there is elastic block storage, distributing load across machines, so there is a ELB, scaling the service using an auto scaling group. Scaling the service is nothing but if there is a more of a users has come, so based on that we are auto scaling the servers, like there is more of there is becoming more load on server, then we can use auto scaling. So what will happen then, automatically one server allotted based on we configure what we have. So what is AMI? So this is like a main AMI, nothing but Amazon a machine image. What is Amazon machine image? If you see, there is a hardware and if there is a operating system. So if there like if there is AMI and if there is no AMI, what will happen? First we have to write Linux image, like Linux server, like Windows or Linux. After that you have to ISO image and this boot everything, then you can deploy to that hardware. So there is too much of this. So what we can do is we can only create AMI. There is so much things of AMI you have to learn. We can create AMI. Through AMI we can directly, okay, this AMI, so it will directly like operate or like host or deploy, install or operating system in that virtual machine. Okay, so AMI is a pre-configured template of a virtual environment in AWS. Now you understand. It includes operating system, application server, application, and other configuration needed to deploy a virtual machine. Okay, AMI, it's a first I'm saying EC2 is a region specific. What is region specific? If you see, like, if I click AMI roles, okay, wait, wait for its loading. I think my net is slow. If you see, there is can you see this? This is global. So AIM, like identity access management, it is not a region specific. It is global, all over over the world. Or EC2 is region specific. If you install or if you deploy anything, so you have to specific region. I have to deploy in Mumbai, I have to deploy in USA. So EC2, there is lot of services that is only region specific. So but IAM is not a region specific. So if you see, there is a user groups. User is groups nothing but admin, developer. I have also created that, I think so. No, I have not created, but I'm going to create. First I have to create users. So how many users I have? If you see, I have only one user. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more one more users. So you can learn. I want to create IAM users. Okay, firstly I'm like, if like auto generated password or control, like it's up to you if you want to auto generate. If you are up, like if you are a admin, so you have to create a user, and you have to give the password or a generated password to their, like, temporary password, or you can give auto generated also. But I always recommend to give custom password. Okay, so your responsibility in, if you are a DevOps or if you are a, like, cloud support engineer, so you have to like give permissions. And also if you say give make a like give how much access, create a users, and give that account to that person, so who that developer can access that AC2 servers, like access that AWS service, like that. There is a add to this group. So we have, right now we don't have any group. Okay, we have to create first. Then there is a copy permission. We can copy from another, like we can copy from this, like if I click then, if I click Ikram 42, so what will happen, there is a attach policy Amazon EC2 full access. What will happen then, this permission will automatically copy for what I have created is on. Okay, and if I click attach policy, directly attach policy, so what will happen, okay, this is the Amazon managed. Okay, this is Amazon managed policies. And if I want to like create, so I have to click there, and there is a JSON format. And wait, I'm going to show you what is JSON format. JSON editor. You can directly, like, if you click there in JSON, you can write how much access you want to give. You if you have to learn, I'm not going to spoon feeding you. You have to learn, you have to dive this, and you have to explore this. Then you can going to know, okay, this JSON work like this. If you're creating like a EC2 full instance, so in the backend this program is running. Okay, you have to carefully understand. If you click that EC2 full access, so what AWS if in that EC2 full is EC2 full access, in that there is a JSON format. In that there is a code written, how much access you have to give, how much, like that. So it's like JSON is like this. Okay, if you want to give like how much, you can write on your own custom like that. I like right now have to give only EC2 EC2 read read only access. So I want to give read only access to this particular user. So what will happen, change password. After he will log in, he can change the password, so it automatically attach. And EC2 read only access, he will get that. Nothing can more he can do. Okay, so in that way you can create, and you can give this isan username to that particular that employee, and you have to give password. After that he will log in, he can change, and he can use that service based on that permission he have. Okay, so return to user list, continue. So if I want to make a user group, so what can I do, I can create a user group. In that I can add attach policy, and based on, like, if like I can click this and I want to give full access, like I can give full admin level. I want to give admin level. If I click admin level, what will happen, in Ikram 42 there is a EC2 full access, but what will happen now, it will have one policy also. What is the policy, administrator full access. If I write the user like admin, like I'm giving a username group, and if I click, and if I create user group, so what will happen, you can see now. So if you see, I have created a one admin user group, admin, and in that there is a like you can see, there is a Ikram is there. You can add too many persons also, users. And now you can see in that user, you can see policy is loading. Wait, now you can see Amazon EC2 full access and administration access. So automatically if you add any users to a particular group, and that group has some policy, then that policy automatically attached to that particular user. Okay, so this is the beauty of AIM. Okay, and remember, AIM is a global, and EC2 is a region specific service. Okay, so I'm going to EC2. In that time we can go to our notes. Now this is I have explained you. And there is a EC2 instance type. There is a types of EC2 instance. EC2 instance come in a different types of optimized for computer memory, storage, and networking. Based on your application, based on your requirement, there are five types of EC2 instance: general, special, balanced, and computer memory and networking. Like general purpose, if you want to use. And if you are if you are just for learning, so you have a like just general purpose will give you in free eligible will you will get this EC2 instance. Computer optimized, best for CPU intensive task. Okay. And memory optimized, in that only you can, if you reading this you can only understand, it is designed for application require high memory. Okay. Storage optimized, ideal for high disk throughput. Okay. Accelerator compute, best for AIM workloads. Okay. So this is the types of you can learn this. Security groups. So, security groups have NIC and attach. Default when creating EC2 instance, outbound traffic allowed. Outbound traffic will be allowed. Inbound Windows and Linux will be allowed. Okay. In default, we are not creating a security group automatically. There is a default group. Amazon also, when you are going to launch a EC2 instance, Amazon will also create a EC2 like a security group, default group. And in that there is like outbound will be, outbound is nothing but we are accessing through other networks, so there is no a limitation anything or any boundaries. So only this HTTP will go, and you can only through go to HTTP or HTTPS like that. And inbound is like how only Windows and Linux will be access this EC2 instance like that. So 3389 and 22 default before creating EC2 instance, outbound all traffic allowed, and inbound no role. Default before creating EC2 instance, this is if you have a default security, then default inbound and outbound all are traffic allowed. Okay. And we cannot delete default, we cannot delete default security group. Okay. And if you see this diagram we will get to know okay what is inbound and outbound rules. Okay. Security group stateful, in stateful we send the request and our server have inbound rule, server have also have a inbound rule. Also it accept that response and then it will send request to that client. Okay. So if you see this diagram you will understand. Can be attached to multiple instance. Security group is a region specific. Security group is also is region specific, because why? It is attached to a EC2 instance, and EC2 instance is a region specific also. So we can't we can't use for US also, India also security group. It's particular to that region only. Okay. Placement group, placement is group nothing but PG enable you to influence how how your instance are placed on the underlying hardware on your server, how your EC2 instance is placed. There are three types: cluster, spread, and partition. If you see uh, cluster, what is cluster? Suppose this is the region Mumbai, and in region Mumbai there is a availability zone. In availability zone there is a AP South A. So ability is AZ A1, AZ A B, like that. There is a five six or five ability zone, and this is the A, like 1A ability zone. So in that there is racket one. In like data center there is a like in that there is a racket servers like that. So in that racket 1, racket 2, racket 3. So in like suppose in racket 2 your all instances will kept in one racket only, in one racket only. What? In one racket, like in this only racket, not in racket 1, racket 3. It will placed in same racket. So what will happen? Low latency. Why low latency? Because they are placed in one racket only. Low availability was like if this crash then you will be like disaster for you. So it's like you can't recover like that. So it's like if you want low latency then you can use cluster. And there is a spread. If you see spread, what will happen? There is it will divide your EC2 instance in it will place your EC2 instance in APC south one also and south two also, and it will place like that: racket 1, racket 2, racket 3, and racket 1, racket 2, racket 3, like that. So it will, what will happen, it will be high availability, like there is low chances of disaster. If this will be down, then this will going on like that. So availability is on, but delay is more. Why? Because it's placed in for so far, like it's so far in, so latency is high like that. So it's like that. And maximum one ability zone to maximum 7. So if you calculate this, 3 into 7 is equals to 20. In one region you can store 21 instance. Okay, partition is like a combination of both of these. If you see, what will it will going to do, if this racket 1 has a high memory, like high RAM, and this racket 2 has like this a partition. In partition, this is one, only one ability zone. Based on your EC2 and their requirement, they will placed on that, like this is the using high GPU. So this instance, so what will partition will do, it will if EC2 instance have high GPU, it will placed on that. If this EC2 instance have a high memory usage, so it will placed on this racket 2. If it has a high CPU utilization, it will placed in this racket 3, like that. So what will happen in that, you, if it's common hardware, based on common hardware, it will store placed on that racket, like that. So it's in this you can connect speedily, high availability zone. Limitation: place group name must be unique with your AWS account for the region. You have to region. You can't merge placement groups. You can't, like I can't merge these placement groups, like partition and spread can't merge or like that. So I can't merge placement groups also. And EC2 instance can be launched in one PG at a time. It connect to span multiple PG. Okay, you cannot launch dedicate host in a PG. Okay. Tendency is nothing but determine how the physical hardware on which your instance are in shared with or other accounts. If you see, there is a three types in also there. There is default is shared, there is a dedicate, and dedicate host. So what is shared? In shared, there is a, like this is your physical host, like this is your server, and in that there is company A, company B, company C, and they are sharing this same physical host, and it is managed by AWS. So what will happen? There is a chance of like secured cyber security. Like there is a chance of because they are using the same resource. So what, there is a chance of attacks or security reasons. So this is not good for. But if you want to use because of your budget and all, so you can use like dedicates, like you have you can like you only you have your company, uh, only one company can use that physical host, like that server. Not another company can use that host, but it is managed by AWS. But in dedicate host, you can manage that physical host also, that server also, and you can no other company can access your physical host. But it is too much costly after that dedicate host, and is shared is a cheap, because you know why. But in that it's like you can so much security, and you can manage your hardware, like physical hosting by your manually. Okay. EC2 instant purchasing options. So on demand, pay per second or hour, best for short term workloads. So there is a on demand. If like I launch, so on it will be by default on demands. Okay, because I'm on demand, so it will be always be costly. Reserve intense, I will up to 75% I will saving for term like I will say I want to from one this times to like 1 for 3 years. So I am reserving that instance. So in that I will save my money. I will give like I will save my money up to 75%. Okay, like I will get discounts up to 75%. Spot bidding is nothing like you will get 90% discounts, like cheaper. It is very cheap, but cannot be interrupted anytime. It can be interrupted anytime. It's suppose like you are, it's like a bedding. It's like a bedding. How it's like a bedding? Like I have bed, like I have to use this EC2 instance, and I'm using my my application in running. But someone is came, I will give more money, I want to this. So what will happen in that, uh, that EC2 instance will detach to you, and your application will be shut down, and that EC2 instance allowed to that person. It is good for only short term workloads like CPU utilization. Okay. Dedicate host, physical server for compliance and license needs. Dedicate host, like you are like taking that server like that. Okay. Saving plans, flexible pricing with lower cost over time. So there is a reserve time. In reserve there is standard standards, like you are reserving that what can I say, I will reserving T2 micro for this time of period. So it's like a standard. I'm not saying after that I will going to convert like that. If I want to convert, I don't know the what will be the feature, but I know that my website is not too much going to be high, so I will take a standard. But I don't sure about my website or my application, it will be boost or not. So based on, I can say okay, I taking convertible if uh, this this application will boost, so I can convert T2 micro to T2 uh, 5 on T2 3 like that, or EC2 instance. So it is telling like that. So there is a schedule. Saving plans also there. In saving plans EC2 compute. Elastic IP is nothing but a static public IP address in AWS. What is this elastic IP? If I launch a EC2 instance, and it give me a IP address that uh, default I will default I have IP address. Amazon gave me IP address default. But if I shut down or restart my, yeah, like if I reboot or shut down or restart my EC2 instance, what will happen? That particular before what I have a IP address, it will be changed. So in that this is like a like nothing. This is not good, because why? uh, my user is using that IP address before, but I have some error happen and my server is shut down, but I restored that, but my IP address changed. So then how my users can access my application? So in that case there is a elastic IP. So you have to give money to AWS, so you can take a particular like a specific, like I have allotted a IP address, that okay, this IP address attached to, I have to attach that IP address to that EC2 instance. If I reshut down how many times, it will never change my IP address. So it also a region specific elastic IP address. Okay. So this is the last Elastic Network Interface, ENI. ENI is a virtual network interface that can be attached to EC2 instance. It is a virtual in network interface. Supports multi IP address, security groups, and MAC address. Okay, can be moved between instance and high availability zone or failure. Helps in network redundancy, load balancing, and virtualized network. ENI is also a region specific. So what I'm going to show you now, if my EC2 like this is the EC2 instance. If I click instance, if I launch instance, right now there is no instance. And I'm also saying you, if you launch your instance, if you don't have, like if you run everything, if you try everything, after that you have to delete your EC2 instance, otherwise you will be charged. So be careful for that. There is saving plans, spot bookings, what I have explained to you, reserved and all. So right now I have to give demo, like I have giving my server's name. So AMI is nothing but your operating system, everything it will be. You can create also your, or you can upload your also. So right now I'm clicking Amazon Linux only, because it is free. And if you see instance type, there is so many types. There is so many types, but I am only taking free, because I don't want to pay. So free tier eligible T2 micro, so I will get one CPU, 1 GB memory, Okay, so you can see this key pair is nothing but if you when you are going to log in from SSH or anything, so you have a key pair, so you can use that. I have a before also have created, so that's why this showing. And otherwise it's not going to show you. You can create a new pair also. Then there is a network settings. You can the subnet, we are going to learn some other day what is a subnet and all. So auto assigning public IP address, it automatically assigning public address, but if you want then we can public IP will attach. Creating security group, we can select existing. If you have created your existing before also, you can click through this, like if this is default security group. Okay. Okay, so storage, configure storage, we will going to learn tomorrow what is EC2 storage types on ABS and all. So we like root volume and all we going to learn tomorrow. So in advanced details, domain join directory, IAM instance profile, host types. Okay, if you see this is, you can just I'm not going to explain everything. I'm just going to explain termination protection. If you enable, then what will happen if you terminate, then also it will be asked one more thing. So it will not going to directly delete, so you can do this if you don't want to delete your EC2 instance. Then there is a cloud watch, we are going to learn some other day. So can you see this placement group? So in that there is three types will be show. It's not showing. Okay, we have to create placement groups. There is three types. There is I will going to show you. So in the based on that we can click. And purchasing options and all, capacity spots. Okay, capacity reservations, tendency. If you see tendency, there is shared, dedicate, and if based on your requirement you can select. Then kernel ID and everything. Then you can, and this you can launch your nginx anything through this. You can upload file or anything, and it will automatically when launching your EC2 instance, on that it also launching or initializing your nginx and whatever you want to launch through EC2 instance, it will do. Okay, so if I click all this, then I will create launch instance. There is an option, so I can create, but I don't want to. I'm just showing how this is EC2 instance will all works. So if you see that through this you can create your EMI. There is volume snapshot, we are going to learn afterwards. Security groups, elastic IP, placement groups. In placement groups like this, we have to create. So you have to name. After that we have to choose spread cluster. Now you can see it's cluster spread. Okay, so it's like that. So I hope I have explained very well. So we are going to learn tomorrow different topics like EC2's types of storage and all, like EBS, and there are more things, root volumes and all we are going to learn on tomorrow. So you have to just practice, and you have to like create your EC2 instance and dive into this service. Then only you're going to know, okay, this thing happens like that. So till that time, bye, have a night, great day.